Hey guys, what's going on? It's Rekt Capital and welcome back to the channel. Happy New Year. Let's dive into today's video update about the Pi Cycle Top Indicator, the first 2024 Pi Cycle Top Indicator update for Bitcoin. Let's dive right into it. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this in the future, and let's dive right into the video. So this is now 2024, and what that means in terms of the Pi Cycle Top Indicator is that this is now going to be a trend following indicator. So the orange moving average, very important pivotal moving average for the Pi Cycle Top, this is going to be acting as a support should we get these retests. So in 2024, if we do indeed dip for Bitcoin, you can see already that this orange Pi Cycle moving average is flicking up. So if we do dip, we'll probably revisit this level for a support retest. We've been seeing that over the past few months, generally speaking. Retest here, deviation below here, and even deviation below here as well, because that's what we tend to see in trend oscillation years. So pre-halving years, we lose this orange moving average, then dip below it, beyond it, before finally in 2020, whether that's 2020 or 2024, the halving year, we retest it as a support. And you can see here 2016 and beyond, just following this orange moving average fantastically well as a support. Whereas in the 2015 year, you can see oscillation in and around this moving average. So going forward, really important to be focusing on this orange moving average, because this is the one that could be acting as a support on the pullback. And right now, this moving average is around 36K. And we know that once price just continues to hover towards the upside, slowly making new highs, even accumulating and consolidating at these highs, both moving averages are going to be flicking towards the upside. That also means that the 350-day moving average multiplied by 2, the green one, which represents 60K at this price point at this moment in time, this is also going to be flicking up. And the importance of this moving average is that in the pre-halving year in 2019, for instance, we saw a rejection from there. When we consider the halving year of 2016, we didn't quite reach this moving average. We rejected quite below it. But in the halving year later that year, we saw a rejection from this green moving average. So the takeaway here is that in the year that we managed to revisit this green moving average, for the first time, on that first contact, we tend to reject from it. But then later on in the cycle, we could see some rejection from it, but we don't actually reject from it quite strongly. We break beyond it and rally to new all-time highs. So it's quite possible that at some point in the cycle, that could be a resistance area, in the same way that it's quite possible later on in the cycle, whether that's a few weeks, a few months, this orange moving average is going to act as a support. So both of these moving averages, the green one and the orange one, these are going to be really important reference points for price. And when we're talking about this halving year, very unlikely that we're going to get dips below the orange moving average here, because that's what happens in the pre-halving year. Now that we've seen the new year come upon us, this is now the halving year, and history suggests that we no longer dip below this moving average. In fact, we retest it as a support. 35K may be the best we can get for a Bitcoin dip in 2024. And on the same level, as we consider this green moving average, for instance, 60K could be that first point of rejection once we revisit this green moving average. That could be months down the line. But once we do revisit 60K, there could be a stronger rejection in this halving year. That being said, after that pullback, whether it's a shallow one or a large one, we will be able to flick back towards the upside and rally to new all-time highs. So these are going to be dynamic supports and resistances. Dynamic because they are flicking up, and they are flicking up and following price as a result. But if we do see price drop at some point, then we'll see curling down in both of these moving averages. And that's an important point to make, because when we're talking about the crossover. And let's just move on to this chart here. Whenever we see a crossover in these pi cycle moving averages, we see a bull market top. Right over here as well, pi cycle crossover, bull market top, and same thing here as well. And on that one occasion, we got the mid-cycle top as well. So we need to talk about a pi cycle moving average crossover, and a crossover is going to denote for us a bull market peak. But of course, if we're just going to see Bitcoin just trend upwards as it has been for multiple months now, trending upwards slowly but surely, not only just trending upwards, but maintaining these highs, then this is going to increase the average price that these moving averages take into consideration when developing themselves. So as a result, they're going to be flicking up, even if price is just consolidating or slightly moving towards the upside. And because they flick up, what that means is if we propagate them into the future, then we're going to get an earlier bull market top. So in our previous video, we spoke about how August 2024, at that point in time, if those moving averages maintain themselves in the way that they were positioned, then we'd see an August 2024 bull market peak. But because we haven't really seen substantial downsides since then this flicking up in the moving averages means that if we propagate them into the future, we'll see a bull market top in 2024, July 2024, which is after the halving. And that just doesn't make much sense because, of course, we haven't seen a strong correction in Bitcoin's price action for a very long time. So since October, we haven't really seen a stronger correction of 20%, for instance, because back here we saw a 20 to 25% correction, and we've only really just seen 11% dips at most in the past few months during this uptrend for Bitcoin. So a correction is probably overdue, and it would be healthy for that to happen. And once that correction does happen, these are going to be moving averages that flick down, and as a result will push and kick the can down the road in terms of a bull market peak. So at this point in time, maybe if we propagate the moving averages, the bull market peak will be in July 2024. But because a correction is probably going to happen, and we're going to see many corrections, and also we're going to have many exponential rallies, which once we see an exponential rally, these two will flick up so considerably that that crossover will be probably pushed into the future even more so, given how parabolic price would go up, and these moving averages will simply just pivot to such a sharp degree. So a correction and a strong breakout rally will impact the crossover in the future, and a correction probably after the ETF, that will be a catalyst. Maybe we see a sell-off. We'll definitely see some sort of strong volatility that will really disturb this future crossover, but also the halving event. Around the halving event, a pre-halving retrace could occur. We'll be talking about that in the future videos, so subscribe to the channel for that one. But we'll probably see a pre-halving retrace around here, which is definitely going to impact this pi cycle crossover in the future. But generally speaking, a pullback from here, and it won't be July 2024, it will probably go back to August, even beyond. We spoke about in the previous video, for instance, when we got one of these 10% dips, for instance, that pushed the bull market peak back by a few months. So you can just see how small moves relatively to Bitcoin's price action, such as 10%, can push the bull market peak back by a few months. So really important to just understand that volatility will impact when we peak in this bull market, but also we're going to be covering this quite consistently on the channel so that we're informed when a bull market can occur according to this very accurate pi cycle top moving average indicator, which has been a very reliable indicator in giving us insight when this Bitcoin bull market peak could occur. So we'll be giving regular updates. So we'll be talking about how these things are changing. But for that, today, for this video, that's about it for today's video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this in the future. Like this video if you enjoyed this one and would like to see more videos like this going forward. I'm Rekt Capital. Thank you so much for watching today, and I'll speak to you in the next one. Speak to you soon.